Hey, what's up, guys? Alright, so we had another amazing chapter of Black Clover, chapter 202, and I swear, ever since Tabata Yuki has introduced this demon, in fact, even before he was officially introduced, when he was still masquerading as that elf, I swear, ever since that elf has appeared, and then, like I said, later revealed to be the demon, we have not had a single chapter of Black Clover that at least I personally would not rank below a 4.5 out of 5. Simply because each chapter since the elf was introduced and then revealed to be the demon has had a good amount of action and really push the plot forward. Now, I'm not exactly sure if I would rank this chapter higher than I would on last week's chapter. I'm not exactly sure which one I actually end up liking more. Simply because of the fact that last week's chapter, I feel like did better with the action when it came to Charlotte and Yami teaming up against the demon. While this week's chapter, I think, had a bigger reveal at the end and like left off on a bigger cliffhanger. I don't know. I'm not exactly sure which one I ended up liking more. They're both awesome chapters. I don't know which one I like more. Let me know in the comment section down below which one that you liked better, either chapter 201 or chapter 202. Okay, so we start the chapter off with Finral and Narrow plot, and actually we end the chapter with the same plot, basically you leaving off on a big cliffhanger of whatever they're trying to do. Now, I know that's what everyone really wants to talk about because that was actually such a big reveal about what their actual plan is. But I'm going to actually leave that for the later part of this video and actually start off by talking about the fight between Yami, Charlotte, and Lich facing off against the demon. Because there was a few reveals in that chapter, or that part of the chapter, that I kind of want to talk about. Now, before we get into the actual fight, I want to quickly talk about this little chart that Yami comes up with during the fight. Basically, mentally, he comes up with a chart that ranks everyone by their power level, or it seemingly ranks them by their power level anyway, because he starts off with the demon at the top, obviously, and then Lich is just a little bit below him. Then we go down a little bit and we see Charlotte. Then we go down a little bit from her and we see Nozel. And just a little bit below the line where Nozel is, we see Yami. Now, I think a lot of people are going to take this as Yami admitting that Nozel is actually stronger than him battle-wise. But I'm not exactly sure if that's what this chart is actually implying. I think, and this might actually be depending on the translation, but I think this chart actually might be implying exactly where everyone is when it comes to their mana reserves. Because we know that since Nozel is royalty, he does have a high pool amount of mana. And obviously the elves would have it even higher than him, and then the demons ranking even higher than that. But since Yami isn't royalty, and in fact he's not even from this country, he would have a lower tier amount of mana reserves to back him up. He even mentions right after that chart is shown that he is actually quickly running out of mana by using all these high level spells in order to fight against the demon. So yeah, I just want to quickly talk about that because I think a lot of people, like I said, are going to see this as Yami saying that he's actually weaker than Nozel, which it could be. This actually could be what Tabata Yuki was actually implying with this, but saying that Yami actually isn't as strong as Nozel at this current moment. But to me personally, at least personally, I think that Yami and Nozel are more evenly matched. And actually, you know what? Taking a second look at the chart, there's no way this can actually be a ranking of who's stronger, simply because of the fact that we see that Magna on Yami's list is actually way higher up than Asta. And we already know that Magna, while he is strong, he does not rank higher than Asta when it comes to battle power. So this has to definitely be basically ranking when it comes to magical power, because obviously Asta would be at the very bottom since he has none. So getting into the actual fight, we actually have Yami figure out two important things when it comes to the demon. For the first part, he actually seemingly is weak against Yami's dark magic, because instead of blocking it like he's done with every other attack, he actively avoids it, intentionally tries to dodge the attacks instead of trying to just use his word magic to block it or redirect it. So that shows that for some reason there is a weakness to his dark magic. Now, it could be because of the fact that he took Patri's grimoire, and his grimoire actually uses light magic, which is the complete opposite and actually is supposedly weaker than dark magic. And the other thing that Yami actually discovers in this chapter is that the demon actually can't use his word magic to actively affect living creatures. Basically, he can't tell a character to go die or something like that, but he can actually use his magic to summon inanimate objects and control them at will, which is the reason why he's able to basically in this chapter summon a storm of swords and send them right at Yami and them. But when it comes to that reveal that he can't affect living creatures, that's kind of brought into question by previous chapters because we've seen him kind of affect living creatures before with his word magic. Like for one thing, we saw him use his word magic to affect Charlotte's vines. Now, technically, plant life is considered living creatures. Now, it could be basically that since it's, it could just be that he's not actually counting them as living. So, we get to kind of write that off. But at the same time, we also saw him use his word magic to teleport Patri closer to him. Now, maybe there's some kind of, it's going to take a lot more analyzing than I've done so far as to figure out exactly how he's able to do that if he's not able to affect living creatures with his word magic. It could be that basically he uses word magic to teleport the space around Patry to move Patry forward towards him. There's also the question of what's going on with the demon, because we've seen the demon actively use his word magic to heal himself. And if he can't actually affect living creatures by basically, telling them to go die, you would assume that at the same time, if he can't tell someone to go die, he shouldn't be able to heal a living creature as well. And that throws into question, is the demon actually not considered a living creature? Is that the reason why he can use his word magic to affect himself? I don't know. Like I said, it's going to take a lot more analyzing than I've done. But other than that, there's not really much else to talk about when it comes to the fight. The three of them work together to fight against the demon. The demon kind of gets pushed into a corner at one point in the chapter, and then he actually finally pulls out the Grimoire of Despair, uses a spell inside of it. And then as soon as he activates the spell, we see some reactions from other characters, like we see Yuno and Patry's reaction quickly, and it's mostly just the characters in the room reacting to it, but we do see reactions from those two characters. Still haven't gone back to the whole fight between Fauna, Noelle, and Jack. At this point, I'm actively expecting the fact that now that the demon has been so active, and we even have Lich fighting in this chapter, that at this point, next time we check in with that fight, we're basically just going to see the three of them kind of say, hey, let's knock this off and go figure out what the fuck's going on over there. Like, maybe Fauna's just going to stop fighting them and go help out Lich, because she can actually feel that he's in danger. And the two of them will actually follow or go meet up with Asta, figure out what's going on, and then follow over to the fight with the demon. I don't know. Just at this point, I don't expect us to actually go back to the fight, because at this point in the chapter, like, it's past the point. We should have went back to the fight already. We're at the point where the fight's not relevant anymore. So now at this point, we don't even need to see it. I don't even care anymore if we see it. I just want to kind of see those characters again, see them get brought back into the plot, and then basically see everyone going up against this demon. That actually would be more epic than continuing that fight at this point. Okay, so let's finish the chapter review off by talking about the whole plot between Finral and Nero. Basically, in the beginning of the chapter, it's basically Finral reacting to the fact that Nero can talk, and Nero kind of telling him, hey, we don't have time for this bullshit, let's go. He tells Finral to teleport him to the demon's bones. And they go there, they go to the tablet that Patry put all the magic stones in order to activate the reincarnation spell. And they take all the stones out, which I thought taking the stones out of the tablet would actually affect the spell in some way, maybe makes at least some of the elves revert back into their human forms. But apparently not. Apparently after the stones have been used, they're just kind of worthless now when it comes to the spell. It doesn't affect it in any way. So I guess that's the reason why Asta and never thought, hey, let's go take out those stones, or let's go try to get the magical stones back, because we know where they were. Then the two of them teleport on top of the head of the demon, and we end up seeing that there's a stone statue of the first Magic Emperor just sitting on top of it. Now, maybe we've revealed this before, but as far as I can remember, we've never actually seen the top of the demon's head has an actual statue of the first Magic Emperor. This could be something that was revealed in this chapter, or something that we found out earlier on. Like I said, I don't remember. But we see basically Nero tells Finral to put all the magical stones inside the statue. There's some holes in the statue's chest, and then he puts the final two in his eyes. And then as the chapter ends, seemingly, and it's kind of hard to tell when you have a black and white manga page, it'll be a lot easier to see in the anime, but seemingly, based on the way the chapter ends, the statue is basically de-stoning, and that's the best way I can describe it, and turning human, which seems to imply that this statue isn't actually a statue. It's actually the first Magic Emperor who's been turned to stone. Now, this is a huge reveal, simply because of the fact that we didn't know that much about the first Magic Emperor, like, past him fighting against the demon. But we all at least I kind of assumed that after he fought against the demon and actually defeated him, that he kind of just went on as the Magic Emperor, and then he passed the title on to the next person, and then the person after that, and basically that after a while he just kind of died of old age, or maybe died in battle. I never expected the fact that he, during that fight with the demon, somehow turned himself to stone, or maybe even shortly after that, after he passed on the title of first Magic Emperor to whoever the next person is, he kind of just went to the statue, was like, you know what, I'm just going to turn myself to stone because I know something in the future is going to go down and I'm going to need to help out. Or who knows, maybe because of the fact that Patry used the magical stones to use the reincarnation magic, maybe this actually is just a statue of the first Magic Emperor, but since the stones still have some residual effects of the reincarnation magic, by putting them inside the statue, this can activate the statue and like turn it back into the first Magic Emperor, reincarnate him in that statue form in some way, I don't know. But like I said, it's actually a big reveal that the first Magic Emperor is coming back, which gets me even more hyped for future chapters, because I know we're not going to get in the next chapter, but I say give it 5-6 chapters from now, we're going to see the first Magic Emperor team up with Lich to go up against the demon. I mean, this reveal does kind of steal the thunder away from the idea of Yuno and Asta teaming up at the end to fight against the demon and actually ended up coming out on top. But at the same time, that actually makes a lot more sense for Lich and the first Magic Emperor to actually fight against the demon and win. Because at its current level, Asta and Yuno are not strong enough to fight against the demon, especially now that he has Super Mario to spare, which is making him even more powerful. So yeah, actually it does make a lot more sense for those two characters to fight over Yuno and Asta. But yeah, guys, that's pretty much it for the chapter. That's it for the review. Thanks for watching. I hope you enjoyed. If you did, drop me a like, subscribe to the channel. I'd greatly appreciate it. Comment down below with your thoughts and theories and how you felt about the chapter. Like I said, I'm still not sure if I like this chapter more or if I like last week's chapter more. I had to think about it a little bit. But yeah, that's pretty much it for the video. Follow me on Twitter at Manga Archives, and I'll catch you later. Peace.